Alright, the project today is to go ahead and install this dishwasher here. It's a new Whirlpool dishwasher. We're presently looking at it upside down because, like most appliances, the power cord needs to be installed. I went ahead and purchased the power cord for this particular brand here. Standard power cord with the, you got the screw caps and the tensioner. And that's going to go ahead and be installed here on the bottom. If you're comfortable doing this, it's a pretty simple project. You just need to find the location of the junction box. And here I'm going to go ahead and remove this kick panel, get rid of this insulation here, which is kind of concealing the junction box, which is right here. That's where the electrical wires enter, and that's where the electrical wires need to be tied in with the power cord, which will then emerge through this little hole here, grommet, and then plug into the outlet, which is underneath the cabinet right there. So let's get to it. Alright, use a simple nut driver here to go ahead and remove these little hex head screws from the kick panel. There's one on each side. This will make the junction box more accessible. So go ahead and set these screws aside. I'm going to get all this insulation, this batting here as part of it. It's connected, so you can just remove this whole piece and set it aside. Alright, the junction box itself, it's right here. It's looks like it's concealed by this sticker. There's a single little hex head nut that's holding it in place. And that can be removed either with a Torx or with a hex head nut driver. And you're going to go ahead and set this little screw aside as well. Alright, you're going to see here you have two wires and a ground. Black, white, and your ground connection. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and open up the power cord now. It's a good heavy gauge power cord. You've got the green grounding, you've got the black and the white wires, right? There's also this little grommet or strain relief for the junction box. You've got the wire screw caps, and also this little piece here is in case it's going through metal, to prevent the metal from cutting the sheathing of the cable, the power cable, as it goes through. Okay. Here, this is the strain relief. This goes to the opening in the back of the junction box, and the screw is tightened down so it's tight on the cord. Alright, what we're going to do now is take the power cord and we're going to run it through this little strain relief, which actually connects into the little hole in the back of this little junction box. Now there's a little washer. It's threaded, so you want to make sure that washer is unscrewed. And then it's going to connect on the inside. But before we do that, we also want to loosen up these screws here so that you can then fit the wire through this little gap. Okay, you want to make sure you feed it through the right way. The threaded portion is inbound, and then the nut tightens that down on the inside of the junction box. So I'm going to see if I got enough clearance now to feed these wires through. And the sheathing as well. Okay. Alright, these will need to be cinched down again. And then I'm going to snake the wires through the hole into the inside of the junction box. Put the threaded portion in. I'm going to go ahead and take the nut, snake the wires through that nut, and we're going to start tightening that down to hold it in place. If I could do this in some kind of a coordinated fashion here. Alright, make sure it's flush. Should have maybe a quarter inch or so of the sheathing appearing on the inside of the junction box. I'm going to tighten that nut down, then I'm going to go ahead and screw down the screws on this side here of the strain relief. Just tighten these screws down so they're biting into this power cord. Tighten this evenly here. The idea is that it's nice and tight, so any pulling on the cord when the the dishwasher is being installed doesn't yank the wire back out, risking disconnecting the wires. And that's coming next here. We haven't connected the raw ends of the wires yet. I'll go ahead and free up my hands for this. Alright, once it's sufficiently tight, I'm going to go ahead and tighten that nut on the inside. You might need maybe a channel lock pliers. You might be able to use a flathead screwdriver to kind of tighten that nut down on the inside. And just check your work here. Make sure everything's secure. Alright, what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and do the wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and take the grounding wire. I'm going to loosen this little X-head nut here and attach the grounding wire right there. Alright, got this little bolt and nut removed for the grounding wire. Notice the green grounding wire has a little loop built into the end. You can go ahead and hook this through here. And then we want to reattach it to the chassis or the metal to act as the ground. Make sure it's tight all the way and that there's no kinking, unnecessary kink of any of the wiring. Alright, make sure that's nice and tight. You want to make sure that metal is in firm contact. Good and tight. Okay, grounded. Alright, then we want to go ahead and take the white and the black wires. Alright, of course, ensure that nothing is plugged in. Okay. So white to white, black to black, and go ahead and put the edges together there, even them up. We're going to twist them. Might need a pair of pliers, and then tighten the wire cap. Make sure that provides a good, solid connection. Alright. Black to black. Looks like they run some solder here in these strands, so it might be a little hard to twist them together. You might need to enlist the help of a pair of pliers. Let me see if I can do that. Alright, and bring in a pair of pliers here, see if we can get a better twist of these raw wire ends. Alright, and put the wire cap on. So just basically it's threaded in there, and that'll hold the wires in place together, making sure they're making contact. Twist it on tightly. I'm going to redo the white ones. Wasn't happy how that came out. And you can might also, if you choose to strip off a little bit more of the insulation, you can certainly do so as well. Make sure it's good and tight. You may also want to wrap a few strands of black electrical tape around the connections. Alright, all done. We're going to go ahead and set the wires back in their junction box. Make sure there's clearance to reconnect the lid. You want to make sure you don't loosen anything through the process. There's like a little form of a hinge kind of arrangement here. Okay. Alright, I get the original hardware that held that together. And we're going to tighten this down as well. Okay, that's secure. Done. You can see the cable, how it comes out of the back here through the tension relief. It's secure, it's tight, and the cord is ready to be plugged in when the washing machine gets installed. Alright, and we're just going to go ahead and reinstall the kick panel here on the front with the insulation intact. So watch out, because some of these edges can be a little sharp. And go ahead and tighten them down with the appropriate tool. And while you're down here, notice you also have the adjustable feet where you can adjust the height and the level of the unit once it's in place, both in the front and in the rear. Alright, that pretty much does that portion here. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Thanks very much.